I've messed with one of these for years. I'm gonna get a bunch of cocoa fruits, and then eventually I'm gonna make some chocolate from it. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah. So we're gonna crack open it today. I'm gonna get some more eventually, and we're gonna crack open this one. Take a look on the inside, and then eventually one of these days we're gonna get some more. Put the beads together, toast them up, make some nice chocolate, right? Cocoa. We grew up with this fruit. You dig? This is what they make chocolate from. All you gotta do is just open it. Right? You open it, there are the beans on the inside. You dig? That's it. Mm-hmm. Beans are pretty succulent also. You know what I'm saying? But inside these beans, is where the chocolate comes from. Very strange fruit, but it's very nice. Very delicious. All these seeds you see in the spot, and this is trash, eventually. Here and here, a lot of them. How my grandma used to do these is the cocoa grows in a cool tropical climate. Yeah, that's where it grows. Cool tropical climates. You know what I'm saying? So you wouldn't find this bearing in parts of Florida because Florida is very hot, tropical but hot. You understand what I'm saying? So you would not find this in parts of Florida. You'll find it like probably South America. There's a lot of it in Jamaica. We grew up on these. You know what I'm saying? So my grandma used to do it is she just put these beans just as they are. Some people eat off the seeds. You know, you could eat this white substance off the seeds. But she'll just used to just spread it out on a zinc in the yard and let it sit there. And it will stay there for days, parching in the hot sun. You dig what I'm saying? That's how my grandma did it. She put it on a piece of zinc, right, in the open yard and let it parch in the hot sun for days and days and days. And when it parched, this white stuff on it eventually melts away. And this is what some people suck off the seeds. It's very nutritious. It tastes delicious. Actually, I'm sucking on one right now. So it tastes delicious, smells delicious, right? But these seeds, honestly, I'm just gonna leave them on my table, right? And just let them sit there for days. Cover them. Let them sit there for days until they dry out. Then I'm gonna parch them in the oven, right? I'm gonna parch them in the oven, and then I'm gonna make some cocoa tea, or I can make some chocolate. You know what I'm saying? That's where chocolate comes from. And inside the pod is probably a half inch thick, as you can see right here. The pod is about a half inch thick, right? This is how this thing is. And the seeds, they hang on to the inside, the stem on the inside. You know what I'm saying? It's a very unique fruit, you would say. So the seeds are hanging on to the stem right here. And you can see the stem runs all the way up. And this is the part that catches onto the tree. All right, this is what hangs on to the tree. Okay, and they usually bear right up against the tree. So for example, this is the tree. You'll find it stuck onto the tree like so. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have a very long stem that's hanging off of the tree. Is that a fruit? Yes, it is. This is cocoa. This is what chocolate comes from. This is actually a fruit, okay? This is where you get your chocolate from. You know what I'm saying? Now, where does the chocolate come from? The seed I'm sucking on, I'm going to open it and show you where the chocolate comes from. Let me get a different cutting board. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm going to show you where the chocolate comes from. So this seed, this one I just sucked on, right? I'm going to open it. I'm going to show you exactly where your chocolate comes from. So on a separate board, this seed that I was sucking on. So once it dries, right? Once you put it in the sun, let it parch. What you're looking on inside the seed is actually chocolate. Whether you believe it or not, that is chocolate inside that seed. I just cut it in half. You see that? That's chocolate you're looking on. But how we get it, we parch it. You know what I'm saying? So this is like chocolate in its raw state with no nothing. You dig? That's it. That's chocolate right there. Okay? But what my grandmother usually do, I'm going with my grandma old school way, how she did this thing, right? So what I could remember how it bears in Jamaica in the countryside, right? It bears deep in. We had a lot of banana trees, a lot of banana plants that surrounded these trees, bananas. So we would call it the banana walk. So the cocoa trees, they grow in the banana walk. You get what I'm saying? It's very cool inside the banana walk, but it's tropical. You dig? So that's where the cocoa trees would grow. They grow in those areas and they'll bear in those areas. You dig what I'm saying? So we'd pick them from the trees, open them up, eat them as a kid. I didn't know the value that these things had when I was a kid growing up. It's since I got older and realized, I'm like, yo, this is what we grew up with. I didn't even know chocolate came from this. Honestly, I'm just being honest. I did not know that chocolate came from this when I was a young kid growing up. There's so many things you take for advantage, right? And you don't know the value you grew up in when you're coming up in the islands or the South Americas or some parts of where different parts of the world that you'll find things like these. You get what I'm saying? So my grandma, she had a big zinc, a big piece of zinc that you put on top of your roof, right? And she would put that in the yard on the grass and have a bunch of these and just open them up and just drop them on the zinc and let them stay in the sun and parch all day. When nighttime is falling, she would cover them over with a tarpaulin or some type of sheet, like a tarp. She used a tarp to cover them at night and then put them inside the kitchen. We had an outside kitchen in the countryside, right? It's not kitchen like here. Kitchen is separate from the house. So we call it outside kitchen. So to put that zinc in the kitchen or put it somewhere safe from animals at nighttime. You understand? And then she had what you call a marta. In Jamaica, they call it a marta, right? It's this big wooden thing made from wood, and there's a big stick, a stick like this, right? Like you got a big old wooden pole. Okay, I'm kind of demonstrating so you can understand. A big wooden pole, right? And then when they dry up, should throw them in there and crush them with a big wooden stick. But the stick is big like this. You got to stand over it. So the mortar is made from a tree stump about this width right here. Okay, probably about 3 feet, 4 feet in diameter circle. It has a deep opening in the middle cut out like so. And then you use a big stick and just boom, boom, boom. Because it's a lot of coffee beans, a lot of cocoa beans. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like just one. It's a lot. 10, 25 of these. You know what I'm saying? Dried. And when they dry, they're going to shrink. So it's going to shrink and it's just going to leave you. This is good. Keep going. Wonderful. Catherine Matum, how you doing today? So when it would dry, she would parch them. When they're parched, they shrink. And then all you have left is the pure chocolate in its raw form. Like the seed I just cut. You see that? That's pure chocolate in its raw form. Right? So when they're dry, she pick them up off the zinc, throw them in the mart, boom, boom, stamp them out. And until it come to a complete fine dust. Right? You beat it out to a dust or to fine grain. You understand? and then she used it to make a chocolate tea. Right? She made little rolls, form they form little rolls, right? About this size, and then you ball them up, and then they use that to make chocolate tea. But you can use this to make your homemade chocolate. You can make chocolate from this. You understand? It's very simple. You don't have if you don't have a zinc or whatever, you don't have a backyard, you could toast them in your oven. That's something else I discovered. You could toast them in your oven, right? Just put them somewhere in your kitchen. Let them sit there and they'll dry out leave them in your kitchen sink, the kitchen top for days. Let them sit there. They're going to dry out eventually. You dig what I'm saying? When they dry out after a week or two, then you could put them in the oven, okay? And let them toast, dry out. Let them toast in your oven. You understand? Once you get them out of the oven, then you can get your own whatever you have, beat it out to a dust or whatever, and you can make your homemade chocolate. Fresh, you know what you put in there, so nobody could fool you, right? But that's really it. It's raw chocolates in its raw form. And I was shocked when I realized how these things grow. You know what I'm saying? You know what you are saying very well. I grew up on these. You get what I'm saying? Yeah, I'm trying to tell you, for good when tasting is the chocolate in its pure. Yeah, this is chocolate in its pure form. You know what I'm saying? You can taste it right now. It's not going to taste like the ones you buy in the store because there's no like sugar in it. It's raw. There's no sugar in there. You know what I'm saying? It's raw chocolate. But when you're making it, it's easy. All you got to add in there is just sugar and probably a little bit of something to bind it. You could use like some oil. That's it. Or you could use butter. You could use butter or oil to bind it together and make your homemade chocolate. Okay? It's not hard. It's nothing complex. There's no trick to it. You just let it dry out, parch it out, beat it out, right? And then you make your homemade chocolate. So one of these days, I'm collecting these seeds right now, and I'm doing this live because eventually, when I collect a lot of seeds, enough seeds, what I'm going to do is I'm going to parch them right here on this live, right? And I'm going to make the chocolate so you could see how it's made. It's not very hard. There's no trick to it, no special technique, no nothing. It's direct, straightforward. Sugar and something to bind it. It could be honey, it could be oil, whatever. Okay, you're gonna love it eventually because you made your own thing. Well, yeah, that's really it. Yeah, well, I grew up on these, man. I just didn't know the value of them growing up. You know, does it taste good? Yeah, it tastes very good. It tastes very good. Hi from South Carolina. How you doing today? South Carolina has the hottest pepper in the world. Sounds like fun to make. Of course it is. It's fun to make. This thing smells very nice, delicious, refreshing. You know what I'm saying? This one is very fresh. I'm surprised it's so fresh because most of these things are imported into the United States. They're not from America. You understand? I don't know that cocoa berry anywhere in the United States. If it does, I would be shocked. The closest place would be like probably Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina. But the weather isn't in Florida. They grow in tropical, cool temperatures. You understand? Where the temperature is cool, generally cool. It does not like tropical heat. Florida is tropical humid. So there are different type of tropical weathers. I just subscribe. Okay, thank you. Miami, Florida. Miami chocolate tea is the best, bro. Yeah, that's what I was telling some of these folks that's what my grandma used them to make because she didn't make chocolate per se. That's something similar to what you get in the store. She used to make chocolate tea. You understand? And yeah, you get the beans. I'm collecting the beans, so I'm gonna buy probably 5 more of these. Knock them open. You get what I'm saying? And then let the beans just dry out. I'm just gonna let them sit on the tabletop for days. Once they sit on the tabletop for days, um, the white stuff on them is gonna disappear. You know what I'm saying? The white stuff disappears. Then I'm gonna put them in the oven to parch. Give them the oven to parch. They're gonna dry out. They're gonna keep drying out, right? put them over in the parch, and then beat them out and do my own chocolate. It's very simple and easy. You could do the same thing. You dig what I'm saying? I love to drink the tea. The tea is very nice. You know, you could mix it with milk, mix it with sugar, whatever it is. But the uniqueness of the chocolate fruit is what always gets me. The thickness of the shell. You get what I'm saying? And I'm still working on who discovered that you could make chocolate from these. You understand? It's such a widely used thing that people use every day, buy every day in the stores, and they have no idea this is where it comes from. You know, it comes from this fruit right here. A lot of people use chocolate every single day. You dig? And no idea that, look, what you're eating come out of this. They probably walk past this in the store and don't even know what it is. A lot of people do. Don't tell me you didn't. A lot of people walk by this in the store. They have no idea. Okay, this is chocolate. You understand? But I thought I would just do this live. Exactly. Who figured it out? You good? Your good name, right? Yeah, that's what I'm trying to. I'm working on. I'm still working on it. Who knows, man? You get what I'm saying? And it brings you to a next important point. Everything is in nature. Everything is in nature. That's what I learned over the years. You get what I'm saying? And you got to pay attention to your ancestors because all these things, like I said, I grew up on it. My grandma was showing us, okay, when pounding in the military, it becomes a chocolate power. Then you use it to chocolate ball. That's it. Don Walcott. That's exactly what my grandma did. But everything is in nature. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times you're looking for stuff, and you know you're in these. You call these stores that they sell all types of powders and things for you to mix and get strong and boost your immune system and do this and all this other shit. You dig? And you don't realize that all these pills and powders and energy boosters they sell, and I'm not bashing them, they got to do business. You get what I'm saying? That's their business. People just be picking up stuff that things look ugly, but now we got so much pleasure from it, right? I'm not bashing these people who sell these energy shit because they got to make money somehow, but they're just not making it off me. They ain't gonna make it off me because I'm gonna look back at what my ancestors showed me, my grandma, grandpa, what they showed me, the small things they told me, and I'm gonna eventually start figuring out that everything is in nature. Everything is in front of you. It's in nature. You understand? Everything you're looking for is in nature. And now with the power of Google, when I was growing up, I didn't have Google. I'm 40 plus years old. You understand? When I was a kid coming up, there was no YouTube, there was no TikTok. I didn't have all this shit. But now you have all this. You could research, learn different things. Boom, instant, quick and fast. Those has a lot of additives, right? So the thing of it is this. You could be looking in the store for days and you're looking for energy boosters. You're looking for detoxers. You're looking for this. You're looking for that. Let me give you an example. Do you know the value of this? This is a pomegranate. Do you know how many things this could do to your body? A pomegranate. I'm going to juice it shortly. This could do so much things to your body, but you never look into it. You just walk by it in the store. Oh, that looks a ugly fruit. Da, 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 da. And then you pass the pomegranate, right? And what do? You go to your energy store, pick up your energy drink, Monster, Nas, Red Bull, you know, whatever. And that's what you drink. And look at this right here. You see what I'm saying? Filled with antioxidants. Good for all types of shit. Heart problems, blood pressure, arthritis, this, that, you name it. Everything is in nature. You know what I'm saying? And that's what you got to understand. So I hope we learned something there about the cocoa fruit. And like I said, not today, but I'm collecting seeds right now. One of these days, I'm going to make chocolate right here on this live. And if the best snacks to have, so much natural energy and antioxidant. Yes. If you find out some more information about this, don't be afraid to stop by and let me know what you found out about the cocoa plant. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah, because I'm pretty sure that even the skin has some type of value to it. I just don't know it yet. Like this shell right here, it could probably be used for something to fertilize your garden for sure. And it probably have other values inside the skin of it. Okay. But I'm yet to come across that. But what I do know is that this chocolate in its natural form, right? It tastes so good. You just cut open the seed and it's chocolate. You don't have to put no coloring, no nothing in there. It is chocolate. You see that brown? You know what I'm saying? That's chocolate. There's nothing you have to put in there to make it look like chocolate. That's natural raw chocolate in its raw state. Okay, and that's the cocoa plant. You understand what I'm saying? So you eat fresh chocolate mhm, straight from the cocoa plant. You know what I'm saying? It's in nature. I'll catch you in about 5 minutes. Thanks for stopping by. It's Big Mosa. Stay on the hustle. I'm catching in about 5 minutes. I'm gonna blend this pomegranate shortly. Okay, I'm gonna blend this pomegranate in about 5 minutes. So catch you in about 5 minutes on our next live stream. Stay safe out there. Big muscle peace. One love.